Well, hey guys and gals, I want to welcome you to the Boomer TV show. I'm Andy Asher. Now, if there is one thing that we strive for at Bloomer Boomer here, it is finding amazing guests and thought leaders who help us solve life's most perplexing problems, for us over 55. Now, in a curious way, problems often they revolve around our search for happiness. That's been my case. There are few other visionaries who have voiced this eternal message more than Gary M. Douglas. There is a more to discover about Gary, including his love for horses and how it has impacted the human message he's been talking about for years. We will get to that side of Gary in just a moment, but first, I hope you have been enjoying this huge month of September with so many phenomenal guests and regular live hosts, and you can learn all about our upcoming shows in our newsletter and receive member benefits. So sign up today. Just go to bloomerboomer.com and you'll be immediately qualified for benefits and our newsletter and free stuff. And share and tell all your friends about our live shows and amazing guests during the week. And in the meantime, let's get started with Gary M. Douglas. But first, remember, hey, let's sign up. Well, Gary Douglas, it is just great having you here today, and I have so many things I want to ask you on what we're talking about today. It's going to be great.
Ask me anything. I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Well, you better not leave yourself that open. You never know. But I don't know where to start. But I guess if you would connect us with how you became, enamored with horses, and what it connects to and what it means to you.
Well, my first connection with horses occurred when I was 2 years old. My grandfather used a team of horses to till the fields until he was 80 years old.
Wow.
And then his family took his horses away from him and he died because
And
he loved horses.
just the shock of it, and what they meant to him, and
Yeah. It's like, and who gave, it's like, why did they think they had the right to take his horses away from him? He loved his horses. It's like he didn't get hurt, nothing happened. They just decided he was too old and he should get a tractor or something. And
yeah.
it's like, what? He loved those horses. But at any rate, I was two, and he threw me up on the back of the horse and told me to hold on to the hanes, those little things that come up with the little brass things on the end.
Uh-huh.
And I held on, and I got driven from the field to the barn. And I just like, that was it. I was in love.
Yeah.
Like I
It,
have wanted to be on horses ever since.
Yeah, there is something about them that the power and just the sheer energy that they bring out, and it's just such a free feeling. Are horses unique in how they communicate with us, or do you think other animals have a similar capacity?
Other animals have slightly different capacities, but they too communicate with us. But the thing about horses is they're the kindest friggin' animals in the world. I mean, there is not a horse that is so small that he can't buck you off. Okay? But they don't. They don't want to. They don't want to get rid of you. They want to please you and they want to do what you want. And if you learn to connect your head to theirs, they will listen to whatever you say. I had a friend who was supposedly a good rider, and she went out riding on this new horse that she had that had never, ever bucked with anybody in his entire life. It was 12 years old. And she started complaining about her friend. And as she complained about her friend, the horse bucked. She was so angry and so upset and had such vitriol in her universe that she upset the horse. We don't get that the horse senses our energies and tries to match what we think we're asking for or what we don't think we're asking for. And it's like, it's just amazing. Just recently got into cutting horses, and I have this guy that's the manager of our ranch, and he rides them. And it's like one of the things I said to him, I said, put your head in the horse, put your put your attention in the horse's head and ask the horse to follow the cow, and then ask the cow to work with the horse. He said, I can do that? I said, yeah, you can. Just do it. He did it, and he had his best ride ever, and he won $500.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, maybe that explains why some people are better with horses than others. The horse senses maybe what they're like, possibly.
Well, it senses the horse senses. If you have fear, the horse senses it and then becomes fearful, because the horse goes, what did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? They assume that you are the superior being and you know things. And if you do fear, they assume that they have missed something and that something's going to eat both of you.
Yeah. Now I know you have programs that involve the horse, and I know it's probably just some basic equestrian stuff, but also, uh, do you go into it deeper than that?
Yeah, I try to teach people how to connect to the horse different, how to feel the horse, how to be aware of the horse, its space, their space, how to expand the space of the horse so that you know what's going on. I was doing a clinic one time, and this lady had this mare that she had to retire because the mare would not jump the fences anymore. I said, well, go in and jump her. And so she took her over two fences, and then the horse started acting up again. And I said, okay, are you aware of this horse's zone? Now, people have zones, so do horses. But it's like you got to get your zone of awareness is what gives you the feeling of safety. So you want to expand your zone out until you are aware of the safety you feel, because that means you're aware of everything around you. So with a horse, that's necessary too. I said, look, this horse's zone is up there on the top of that mountain. That's how big it is. If you try to keep her zone inside this little arena, it makes her crazy. She doesn't know what you want. I said, go out there and then ask her to jump the fences. She had a clean go, the best she'd had in years.
Yeah. Well, something about horses. I know that special needs people and also people suffering from PTSD and things like that are linked up with programs. Official programs, I guess it might be that involve horses. So there must be something that's been connected to helping people and what horses, maybe their instincts, but there's something about it that they seem to understand better.
Without the horse, we would not be across the world. Okay? Horses have taken us across the world. It's like we got from the East Coast to the West Coast with horse teams on horseback. It's like it is in their nature to take care of us. And the one thing about people who are suffering from PTSD is they're looking for the wrongness. The horse is going, hey, it's okay. And the horse senses when somebody needs help from them and gives it. I had a lady who was a friend who was working with a company that dealt with kids that were autistic. And she had this one little kid who like was autistic to a degree that was off the charts, and nobody quite knew what to do with him. So I told her, I said, so think at him to ask the horse to do what he wants. Think at him that. Because the thing about autistic kids is they actually pick up your thoughts and they function from that, and they will answer you in thought if you think at them. And they don't really understand why you talk, because they've already heard your entire conversation before you have even gotten it out of your mouth. So he did this with the horse, and they wouldn't let this kid like actually trot on the horse or gallop on the horse. And he asked the horse to run with him, and the horse did. And she said, oh, what do I do if he runs away? I said, tell him to ask the horse to stop. And he asked the horse to stop, and the horse ran around the ring once and came up to her and stopped. The kid was so happy he could hardly stand himself. He got off of the horse, laid down on the grass, and went to sleep. And this is what happens because suddenly they have a sense of peace that they can get no place else.
Yeah.
Amazing gift these horses are.
Yeah, and yeah, it is. It is. Now, I know that you are particularly interested in a certain breed of horse. For those of us who aren't as adept and knowledgeable as you, could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's like I spent my entire life looking for a horse that was the kind of horse I was wanting, which was a horse that would listen to my thoughts, do what I asked, and not require major amounts of pulling on reins and stuff. And I found that in Costa Rica. And the Costa Rican horses they have bred for the last 450 years to uh, be there to work with. Breed the stallion for his looks and his genetic material, thinking that's all you need. But I think you need the other thing is his head. And I have an 18-year-old white Coastarricense de Paso stallion that people call Pegasus because he just looks so regal. And he will, it's like my grandson went in with him and could feed him one straw of hay at a time in the stall. And the horse just took care of him. And he liked that horse. And he grabbed his knees and hugged him before he left. Now, you don't think of stallions being that, but they can be. And these guys have created that with the stallions that they've done and with the horse breed they've created. And these horses are amazing. They are a paso, so they actually have a 4 beat diagonal walk that they do that is just so smooth it doesn't hurt your sit bones. No testicle burn. Okay, so nobody knows
Nice.
what I'm talking about
No,
with that.
no, nobody does.
Yeah. So it's like it's the most amazing gait, and they're just beautiful. They were they were came from the conquistador horses that were left behind when the conquistadors came to South Central America, and then they added to them the Peruvian, and that was a lateral, like they would do same side, 1, 2, 3, 4, but 1, 2 on one side, 3, 4 on the other side, and they would shovel sand because it was sandy in Peru. And then they brought them to Costa Rica, and they found that wasn't working because there's mud in Costa Rica, and in order to stay balanced, you can't just put all your weight on one side. You have to have it balanced across your body. And so they developed these horses that have a 4 beat stride, but they have a high action. They are pretty. They're wonderful. They're amazing, and they have very gentle mouths. You don't have to push on them or pull on them hard. So I really appreciated them, and I met my first one in Costa Rica, and I went, I got to have one of these. So years later, I managed to buy one, and then I brought it to the United States, which cost me so much money. I went, oh my God, I didn't think I had that kind of money in the whole world. And I just spent this money on a horse. I could have bought 2 cars for this. And I love the horse, and I still love the horse. He's great. And it's just an amazing thing to ride him. And I'm 77 and he's 18, but he is a handful. He is not an easy ride, except if you're a kid or a woman or me, and he'll take care of me. And when I go to get him, I go, okay, viejo vengan, cuidado, hombre, which means the old one is coming, be careful. And so he just takes care of me. And it's like they have to practically, push me on the horse to get me on. But once I'm on, I'm fine. And I do fine once I'm on him and I can ride him. And it's like he's just so smooth, so great, so amazing. It's just a joy to ride him all the time.
So is that the big white one? I've got a couple of pictures that we showed. Is that the big? I mean, that is a one big horse.
He's a big horse, and his name is Deseable, which means desirable. His real name on paper is Indeseable, undesirable, because the guy who bred him didn't want a white horse, and he got a white horse, and he was really pissed. And it was kind of nice because that's the only reason I got him is because he didn't like him. He was undesirable to him. So I changed his name to Deseable because he was desirable to me and always has been and always will be. And I love the guy, and he's great.
Yeah, I can see that affection coming through. Normally I have a whole list of questions, but we have a lot of questions from from viewers. So can you stick around for a minute and we'll get to some of those?
Sure, no
All
problem.
right, all right. All right, this is from Paul. I guess it's kind of what we were talking about a little bit, but he says, "How did you discover the?" And you got to correct me on this pronunciation. The counter-resence. And what about that horse makes it so unique?
Costa, Costa,
What did I call that? Coast of something, huh?
you called it the counter. It's the Costa Ricense.
Coastarricense. Okay.
Oh, well done.
All right, I'm getting it. But it sounds really unique.
It is. I discovered him because I was in Costa Rica doing a class, and this guy said, I have this new horse. Would you like to ride him? And I looked at him and went, yeah. And I rode him, and he was just a bit of a lunatic. And yet I rode him. It wasn't a problem. And it's like, and he was so sensitive and so present and so there and so aware. It was a great ride. And I don't like to ride in groups, and he knew it. So he just stepped out and walked away from everybody else. And it's like he got my point of view. And it's like that's the other thing I like is a horse that'll get your point of view and deliver it.
Yeah, and they probably feed off you a little bit. They know what you're about, and maybe they make an attempt to mirror that somehow or another.
I know they don't mirror it; they just deliver what you ask, and that you don't even know you're asking most of the time.
Wow, what could? This is from Stephanie. She says, "Why do you say that you everything you learned it was from a horse?"
Yes,
I
every
can sort of, I guess that's when they call about horse sense, maybe.
yes, everything I learned about people, I learned from a horse because I watch people do crazy stuff, and I wonder why they do it, and then I watch the horses that they ride, and the horse will do exactly the same kind of what the hell is wrong with you point of view I do. And I can see the horse going, what what do you want? And I get that the horse has the same curiosity I have is you would choose that for what reason?
Yeah, that and I guess we sort of talked a little bit about this, but Robert is asking, how did you get into your love affair with horses? If you want to start to get into horseback riding for your kids, what do you recommend?
I recommend you take them out and let them learn about horses, let them pet the horse, do all that kind of stuff, and ask them if they would like to get up on the horse. Most of the time they'll go no. And I always go, okay, well, I'll give you an ice cream if you do. And that usually gets them on the horse.
That
And
makes
once they,
sense. Yeah.
and then I get them to lay back and relax. Lay down on the horse, relax, and let them realize the horse is not going to hurt them.
Yeah. And that's kind of goes into this question from this looks like Betty. She says for someone that I guess it's her grandson is scared of horses. What can you say to help overcome that?
Say, what's scary about them?
Yeah,
And the other thing is, all you got to do is take a little kid and tell him to jump at the horse and watch the horse jump away from them. So
yeah,
is he afraid of you now? So who's really strong, you or him? Or are you both strong in your own ways?
yeah. Well, look at. I guess there's one more. We have a lot, but let me get this one, and we can even talk about this later. But somebody wants to know about the Lazy D Ranch. That's where you go, I guess, right?
That's what I own.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. All right. All right. All right.
Dane and I own the Lazy Double D, where we grow Wagyu beef and Longhorn steers and horses, and we're doing crosses of the Costa Rican horses with the Frisian horse because it makes a great sport horse. Sport horse are horses that like to jump, and we're crossing them with quarter horses because they become really smart versions of a quarter horse, and they try to do the things that quarter horses do. We have one quarter horse cross that is trying desperately to become a reining horse, and she just can't quite figure out where her feet are because A, she's really tall, but B, she was never taught to actually look to where her feet were going. She was taught to walk. She was owned by a lady who was completely horse senseless. And so she was, the only thing the girl wanted her to do was walk with her and take care of her. So she always did. And that's one of the gifts that these horses are. They take care of you. So at any rate, she never learned how to do anything except walk. Now she's learning how to be an athlete, and she's getting it. It'll just take her a little longer than most of them, I think.
So
So
she's
we're
just kind of the opposite of someone you'd say, you have good horse sense.
yes, exactly.
Hey, this question's from me actually. You have a book out called Talk to the Animals. That sounds pretty cool. What's that about?
It's literally about how the animals are always trying to communicate with us and trying to give people that sense of how they communicate so that you can begin to get your communication skills with the animal in so that you start to see and hear and know what they're saying to you.
Yeah. Hey, Gary, I want people to find out where they can get hold of you. And so just hold on there for one moment and we'll get right back. Well, Gary, it's been great talking to you. Any final points that we want to touch upon here before we say so long?
Yeah, just remember a horse is not afraid unless he thinks he can't see something that you can see. You create his fear, not him. So relax, enjoy, and have way too much fun, and your life will get better.
Wow, great. Sounds like a good thing to do. And get me, I know a stable nearby. I might get down there. Hey, Gary, thanks so much. It's great seeing you again.
It's good seeing you. Thank you so much, Andy.
Well, I want to thank you. Of course, thank Gary. I'm Douglas, founder of Access Consciousness, and you can find out more on Facebook, YouTube, and at bloomerboomer.com. And if you like this, please like us on Facebook or any social media that you like. And also remember about a membership. Join us and sign up right at the website, bloomerboomer.com. In the meantime, we'll see you next time.